Hello and welcome to SuperMet. Thanks for tuning in. So today I'm in my Tesla Model 3 long range, and it's really a bit of an update about the car. Car is now over a year old, and I've done I believe about 11,000 miles. So let's have a quick look at the display, and you can see here, I've done 12,877 miles. So I've racked up some miles in it, and it's been pretty good, I have to say. So I was doubting it. I've come from a long line of German cars, and I really do like my performance cars. So I'm very much a Porsche driver, and I've had many Porsche 911s. Before that, I've had Mercedes-Benz, and I've also had BMWs, but BMWs got fed up with them braking, and fed up with seeing them on the road. Hence why I went for this car, because they are literally on every street corner. So I bought this in April 2020, and it was basically when we got into lockdown. The car then turned up about a week later. It was very fast turnaround, and it was my first EV. It's my first electric vehicle. The car's proven pretty good. I've had a couple of small glitches. I've had to take it into Tesla at Dartford, and they had the car for a day. Actually 2 days. They gave me a loan car, a Model S 85D, and that was okay. It had done a massive mileage. It was nearly 100,000 miles, so it kind of backed up that these things are going to keep on plodding away. They're going to keep on going, which is awesome. But it also sort of showed me that the S is more expensive, and it actually felt, in my mind, slightly better in a lot of ways, even though I'm not particularly keen on the S. The Model 3 is obviously more current. It's a more modern vehicle, and I like that. That's why I went for it. I think the technology is now, I believe, 13 years old, and the Tesla battery packs and the motors have been very well proven, and they seem to be doing exactly as everybody expected. I know there's been a few issues with the Model S, with the big screen where the module goes inside it, and obviously it's quite expensive. I think it's a couple of £1,000s to get it sorted out, and then it was, I believe, put on a recall, or Tesla was forced to put it onto a recall. And God, this is another thing. If you have a child seat in the back of the car in this car, without obviously a child in it, the child goes in it very rarely. It beeps all the time because the sensor is just too sensitive. I checked the weight of that seat in the rear of the car, and it only weighs 3.2 kilos. So 3.2 kilos is setting it off. Well, if you were to have a bag of shopping and put it on the back seat or on the front seat, which I've done many times, the whole way you've got this thing donging at you. So it's a bit annoying, really. I think their sensors need to be changed slightly, because there's not many babies that would be 3.2 kilos with a car seat. So it's a bit ridiculous. Okay, so that's that. My gripe is out of the way. Okay, so the car went into Dartford, and it had to have this warranty work done. Now, I had a problem where the screen wasn't turning onto the rear reversing camera when I put it into reverse. It was a bit of a pain, because actually on a Model 3 you can't see out of the back window particularly well if there's something behind you. It's quite high-lipped at the rear, and it's not particularly conducive to actually reversing. So you do need that rear reversing camera, and it should come up like it is on the screen at the moment, so I can see what is behind me. Now the issue was it was coming on, but it was taking about 45-50 seconds. Now if you're in a busy car park, you've got pushy London drivers behind you, you can't see what's behind you and they're quite close, then obviously it's a bit awkward. So I went in for that. They had the car overnight, and it was actually quite annoying because I have to drive sort of 15 miles to Dartford, drop the car off. They give me quite an old Model S, which was fine, but with not very much charge in it, which was a bit annoying as well, so I had to actually charge it myself and waste my day. Then I got a call just before closing time that night, and there was no way to get back to them, and they said, can you come back, your car's done. So I thought, fantastic, this is great. So I got in the car first thing the next morning, changed my schedule around, drove to Dartford, picked up the car, and first thing they said to me was, oh yeah, the car's ready to go, but we haven't fixed it. Turns out it's a software update that was needed on it, and they said, oh, we don't know when that update's going to happen. Well, it actually took 5 months for them to sort it out. Now, I'm pleased to report it has now been sorted out, but obviously I've now got the donging on the seat, which has never happened. That's quite a new thing, and you know, the rest of it seems to be okay. I do have a few simple gripes. I like to have my window down now and again, and if I have it just cracked down very slightly and it rains, because there's no guttering on the side of the bodywork on the outside, the rain pours straight through the window. That's a bit of a pain. I don't always want the air conditioning on. Other problem I found is if you're sitting still in the car and you're actually waiting and you've got the air conditioning on a constant temperature, say, I don't know, 21 degrees like it is at the moment, then it's fine for a while. But then I found it goes either cold or red hot, and there's no way to change it. The only thing you can do is turn it off and open the window again, and if it's raining, you get wet. So that is a bit problematic. I'm not quite sure what the problem is with that, so I will speak to Tesla about it. I've got the common fault, which a lot of you have had, is the driver side rear driver side rear inside tail light on the boot lid is completely full of water. I've told Tesla, they haven't reacted at all to it, so I've actually sent 2 messages now, and they don't seem to want to know, but I'm hoping they'll do something about it. I'm almost feeling it needs a hole drilled in the bottom of it and let the water escape. A one-way valve that would allow water to come out but not go back in, but it's not for me to do, really. This car is a lease car, and I don't want to be doing modifications on this vehicle, really, if I'm honest. Bodywork, same. Can you hear the seat going? It drives you absolutely insane. Very, very annoying, considering it's a standard Isofix child seat in the back, and if you had 2 of them, I imagine this would just be going off constantly. And obviously I do press the little red icon that comes up, but it only shuts it up for a little while and then it starts doing it again. Except for that, the car's been doing pretty well. I'm filling it up on my Zappy at home. The Zappy is taking you know, the normal power supply. I don't have phase 3. It charges up overnight. I'm using Octopus, and I'm using the Agile account. I have it set at 12:30 at night, and so at 12:30 each night, when I plug the car in, depending on when I plug it in, maybe once or twice a week, then the car is actually being charged up, and really by about 5 a.m. the car is up to the limit that I need it to be at. I didn't charge it last night. I've got 186 miles. It's plenty for me going into London and doing bits and pieces around town today, so I don't have any issues at all. Mileage I'm getting out of it, it doesn't do 300 miles. It's meant to do obviously 356 miles or 52 miles, I believe, in the long range model. I don't drive particularly fast in this particular car. I take it fairly easy. You can see I'm doing the speed limit. What I found is, dependent on if you've got your wipers on, you've got your headlights working, you're using everything in the car, it does make a difference to the mileage. If I'm around town, it's much more efficient. If I go on a longer journey, like yesterday, I was looking at some properties in Tunbridge Wells. I drove, I suppose, the best part of 65, 70 miles in total, and I used what we have today. So I used, to do 60 miles, I used exactly double that figure, and I used 122 miles of range. So it was topped up to the maximum yesterday to 301 miles. That's the other thing, I can only charge it to 301 miles. Ever since I got it, the car would never do more than 302, 303. and it depends on the weather. Wintertime, it's really about 296, and summertime, I've been getting about 301 to 304, but never more than that. Performance never changed, it's exactly as it should be. Okay, so one of the other annoying things that I found is down on this side of the car, around this area here, so up to about here, so either the door or the wing, or maybe the inner section of the car, there's a wire that appears to be loose. So at 70 miles an hour on a motorway, in a gusty day or a rainy day, even a calm day, there's the most horrendous, constant sort of whipping noise of wires hitting metalwork, bare metal. And it makes this kind of knocking sort of vibration and this sort of flapping sound, which really does sound like wires just beating on thin sheet metal. It's extremely annoying. And I've spoken to Tesla, they didn't really want to know about it. So it's again, I'm going to send them another message and see if somebody can do something. But I believe there is a cable that is either unshielded with rubber or foam or a padding around it to stop it from knocking, or it's a wire that hasn't been clipped in. Now, from what I've seen at the back of the car, this car had no light bulbs in the rear boot. I don't understand why it hadn't. It had the wires, it had the fixings, but no bulbs fitted, and it had no clip-in lamp holders. So I had to buy lamp holders for it, I had to buy LED lights, and I put those in the boot. Now I can see what I'm doing in the boot. I just think these are just really simple things that should be checked at the point when this car is rolling off the factory production line. They're definitely having somebody look at them, but they aren't being that stringent. They just are letting simple things which really annoy people go. And in the real world, you need to have lighting in your boot. You can't see what you're doing. The other thing that really annoys me, there's a rubber lip, a sort of rubber gasket on the underside of the rear section of glass. So if you imagine the roof coming down on the glass, where it's an oval at the bottom and then your boot meets into it, there's a small rubber gasket. That is stopping the water from dropping straight off the roof, but it's not quite long enough, so you get quite a build-up of water. That's one thing that is a little bit annoying, and I don't like the aftermarket solutions for it, so I won't do anything with it. The other thing is, on the right hand side where the hinge isn't sealed, so they've bolted the hinge into the wing of the car. When you open the boot up and there's water there, what you realise is on the inside of your floor, inside the boot, there's a puddle of water and everything is wet. When I put my hand up to where the light fitting is that I just talked about that I replaced, that section is all wet, and it's because there's no, I believe, a rubber grommet, or they haven't sealed it with a silicone, so they've bolted through the base of the hinge and water's falling straight through. So it's just not really a particularly great solution to the problem. I just went past a nice new 2021 Tesla Model 3 being driven very carefully down the inside lane. And it looks extremely new. It looked just like a brand new car. So somebody really clutching the steering wheel as I went past it. But overall, this is it been a very, very good car. Very, very cost effective. I mean, compared to what I'm used to, putting anything between £600 and £1,000 into the cars a month, say on the Audi RS3 or the Porsche Turbo S, I'm saving a fortune in fuel. My electricity bills have gone up. They've gone up by around £200 a month, but I'm charging two electric vehicles, this one and the new Honda E. And I'm not really holding back on mileage. I mean, I've done 12,000 miles. The Honda has done, only really now probably 1,500 miles, maybe 1,600 miles. But this one is getting the usage. It's getting good mileage, and I'm perfectly content with the battery. I wish it did do a bit more, but it's fine. I mean, it's a doable vehicle. Only thing I am worried about is my very long journeys coming up shortly. This is going to be more problematic in this car. So, I have my name down for a new Lucid Air, but I can't confirm when the car's going to turn up. But that is apparently 1,045, I believe 1,045 or 1,065 horsepower, with the biggest battery that's ever been put into a production vehicle. And it's got captain chairs and the executive seating in the back, which sort of lounges backwards. It's like having sort of beds with the all-glass roof, and it's got every conceivable extra. So that is one that I obviously have my name down for, but I do not know when it's going to turn up. I have no idea. So that is my update in the Model 3 Tesla. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please do let me know. And maybe you'd like to see a video on some of the accessories that I put in here, just to make it mine and make it a little bit easier for me to live with. That could be my next video, if you would like that. So drive safe. All stay safe with pandemics and COVID. I know it's different in all parts of the world. England's doing pretty well at the moment. Please hit that bell icon and hit the like button and click subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Drive safe, guys. Take care.